16 Pros and Cons of Living in California. Getting on a plane and flying to California as a tourist is exciting. Getting in a U-Haul and moving all of your belongings to California is a completely different experience. Will I be happier in California? Is it too dry, hot, sunny, or crowded for me and my family to be able to find a home there? Are there actually stars in Hollywood, and would we get a passing glimpse if we lived there? Can just anyone actually live in Hollywood? Is that even possible? Is Hollywood even real? Yes, and Universal City is a city where Universal Studios Hollywood theme park and movie sets are real too. Here are more fun facts about life for people in K. Pros of living in California. 1. Reduced price admission to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure Park as a TA resident. If you have a California driver's license, you save money when you visit some of the state theme parks. This includes Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure Park, as well as Universal Studios Hollywood. Plus, you do not have to travel from out of state to visit any of these parks, which is also going to save you money if you are a theme park enthusiast. 2. You can work at Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, or any K theme park. By living in California, you are a convenient bus stop or car hop from most of the major theme parks in the state. Working there is actually possible too. Imagine yourself dressing up as one of the Disney characters and being in those multi-gala parades they do. You might also like simply to work in the food concessions or gift shops, where you too get to wear some sort of fancy theme park costume. Fun times ahead if you love playing pretend or dress up. 3. Food variation is extensive thanks to coastal croplands and sharp agricultural rules. The state of California is super strict about its bug policy. As in, if you are hauling freight into the state and you have a single insect or bug on the cargo that is unacceptable, you are put on standby. They take agricultural commodities and the spread of invasive insects seriously. At the same time, California produces a great deal of produce in-state, including citrus. It is named Orange County for a reason. There has historically been more interest in vegetarianism and veganism in K, most likely spread from the Hollywood set, but this has increased restaurant variety and food availability for locals. There is also the border of Mexico, where the bulk of avocados, handmade tortillas, and corn-based products like tamales are imported most conveniently. 4. Mexican culture is vibrant, especially in SoCal. Speaking of tamales, Mexican culture is quite vibrant in SoCal, where the state borders the country of Mexico. Again, historically, the state of California was Mexico, and the Spanish missions that dot the coast and are open to tourists represent this cultural heritage. When visiting California, particularly in the central and southern areas of the state, you are more likely to see Spanish or Mexican influences in foods, shops, and housing as a result of this background. 5. You might see a celebrity from Hollywood. If celebrities are really real, they are said to inhabit Hollywood. Those vampires, though, you can never be for sure if they are really there. I have never seen one while in California, and I have been to Hollywood as a visitor, so that is my personal experience. According to TMZ and other celeb photo hogs, this is supposedly the hotspot though. Maybe you need to be involved in the nightlife to see them at the clubs, bars, and movie cinemas. 6. Pacific Ocean sea life and beach scenery. The Pacific Ocean is most available to residents in California, as there is more coastline in this state, touching the water than any other western state. If you want to see sea lions, seals, seagulls, and maybe some sharks, California has plenty of shores for you to explore. 7. The Redwood Forest and its many national and state parks. For those who prefer to hike in the woods, the tallest trees on Earth are in the Redwood Forest. You can drive through a tree here or visit one of the many K state parks. This includes Del Norte Coast Redwood State Park, Prairie Creek Redwood State Park, and Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park. There is also Redwood National Park. 8. California culture is one of a kind and only found in California. The culture of California is all of its own thing, and only those people who really live there imbibe that culture. If you eat, drink, breathe, and sleep in California for a year or two, you too will become a cool California. The Pacific Ocean will freckle your skin, and you will eat far too many oranges and wear a customized pair of Mickey Mouse ears too. Cons of living in California. 1. Traffic is an absolute nightmare. Los Angeles gets a lot of grief because of bad traffic. It is true, and they are listed as the fifth worst city in the US for traffic in 2022 as a result. But it is not the first to the fourth, and that is saying something. 2. Smog due to insane amounts of cars on the roads. When you are driving in Los Angeles, in particular, where you are stuck in traffic for 3 hours covering 3 miles, you are getting exposed to noise and air pollution. The emissions released by cars and trucks, especially diesel 18-wheelers, lead to breathing issues and lung cancer, as well as air pollution and heavy smog. 3. Wildfires caused by a lack of water in the ground. The number of wildfires happening in California is partly because of the lack of water in the ground. When there is a lack of moisture in the soil, this increases dry brush and debris. As a result, any wildfires are easily spread over large distances. According to the National Integrated Drought Information System, NIDIS, the longest duration of drought in K was from December 2011 to March 2019 for 376 weeks. Also, 2022 was the driest year in the state in history, or for 128 years as monitored by the government. 4. Overpopulation in Southern California and Los Angeles. California has the most people in the nation, with more than 39 million residents as of 2021, according to the Public Policy Institute of California. For comparison, several states in the U.S. do not even have 1 million people, including South Dakota, North Dakota, and most of the New England states. Overpopulation is supposedly tapering off, but who is to say what that really means for new residents to the state post-corona? 5. Hollywood is the strangest of places for someone not in Hollywood. Hollywood, California is the home to several actual homes, film sets, and hangout spots where people claim to see celebrities. It is weird, and there are tour buses that will take you to see these places too. That is a big deal. You aren't around this kind of rich and famous culture that is notorious around the globe thanks to billion-dollar blockbuster films that came out of this very city. 6. The cost of living is super high, so prepare to shell out the clams. The average cost of living for California is $46,636 a year, according to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. While not the most expensive state thanks to Washington, D.C., which is not really a state, and Hawaii, which is really a tropical paradise, California is still expensive for most people. Rent costs, on average, $1,248 to $2,357 a month, for example. 7. It's a large state to cover and too busy on the roads. If your job involves driving to visit people, such as a traveling nurse or a courier, there is a lot of ground to cover in California. The limitations of the state line are not as close as they are in many other U.S. states. This can be overwhelming for professionals who like working and traveling in the state and staying close to home. If you live in SoCal and have to travel to Eureka in Northern California, it will take you at least 12 hours. That is not the case for someone living in New Jersey traveling border to border. 8. People tend to be more liberal and less militaristic here. Want to avoid creative types and untampered personalities in people you pass by. Avoid living in California. As a result of the sunny weather, most people are out and about and trying to be seen in the scene. This is also because of Hollywood, which has a liberal connotation.